This video is dedicated to the media library and the different ways that we can use media on your site, whether it be photos, GIFs, logos. So it all starts with the media library right under here on design settings. This is where everything gets uploaded first. So in order to use anything on your site, it first has to be uploaded in here. You can drag and drop or use the upload file button here. JPEGs are going to be photos that don't need a transparent background, so solid photos, whereas PNGs are elements like this that need a transparent background or your logos. Showit is going to automatically optimize JPEG images for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But just like a good rule of thumb is if you're uploading things like logos that have a transparent background, for example, this PNG, you want to upload it in the approximate size that you're going to use it on your site. For example, if you're going to use it for something really small like these flower elements, if you wanted to add like a custom logo here, you would want to upload it at the size that it probably is going to be used on the site. So this is 100 by 100. You wouldn't want to upload a 2000 by 2000 image. That's a PNG. You would want to get something closer. I would say 500 or 100 is fine for this size, and that's just because Showit doesn't automatically optimize those images. So if you're uploading PNGs that are really large when they don't need to be, it can slow down your site. So that's just a little word to the wise on uploads. You can upload other types of files, for example, GIFs. Those are used throughout our templates. Specifically on this template, it's used here, but you'll find them in other places. You also can upload PDFs to the media library as well as videos. I will let you know that videos can only be used as backgrounds and they have to be 8 megabytes or under. It's pretty easy to compress them. You'll use a compression tool to get them under 8 megabytes, and then you can use them as different backgrounds. If you want to use like a YouTube video or a link to another video that you've created, you'll want to use the embed option instead of uploading it to the media library. You can only upload videos that are 8 megabytes here. And I'll go over embed boxes in a later video. So once your media is in the library, you can start to customize. There's a couple different ways that photos are used throughout the site. First is just a standard image. For example, this image here, I can move it around. It's just a regular image. If I want to replace this, I click on it and go to image and then swap image. This is true for any image on your template. So here, swap image, same thing for a GIF, swap image, and it's going to bring up the media library where I can choose a new image. Another way that images are used are as canvas backgrounds. So for this example, we are on the Work With Me page of the Sundays site, but a lot of our templates have canvas backgrounds. You'll see if I click on inside this canvas, I can't adjust this image. I click on canvas background, and then you'll see I have the same option where I can click and replace it. You can also adjust the opacity so that you can choose another color underneath to reveal and adjust there. If you want to have a different background on the desktop than you do on mobile, remember it's always important to double check how the desktop changes are reflecting on the mobile. You'll click on the little phone icon here and you can see that we can choose a media type. So we would want to say image, and then we would choose the image that best fits the mobile version if it's different from the desktop version. This template is actually not using a canvas background and it's just using a standard image, and that's an option too if you want the desktop version and the mobile version to be different. Sometimes the canvas backgrounds on desktop, since they are horizontal and not vertical, don't look great on the mobile, so it's really just kind of a judgment call, and it really depends on your photo as well. If you want to make them the same again, you'll click on media type and then click merge using desktop, and that will swap so that it is the same on both. Another thing to note with canvas backgrounds is, I'll zoom in here so you can see a little bit better, you have an option to adjust what's called the scroll action or the scroll. So if we go up to preview, you notice on this one, when we get down to the section here, it's kind of got this like 3D effect, right? So the background is on parallax, which just means that the background is scrolling at a different rate than this top layer. If we switch it over to fixed, that means that this background photo, this canvas, does not move at all and everything else scrolls past it. So we can see an example of that down here. So watch, this photo is not moving at all. We see the bottom and then we scroll and then we can see the top. So that's an option, or you can just have it static, which is scroll with page, and that is just like what we're used to on any other area of the site right now. It just stays where it is. So those are some different styling options you can play with. They're really fun and add a lot of dimension and movement to your site. I'm going to put this back on parallax. You'll notice that the option for parallax is not supported on mobile. So for the mobile version, when you go to your image, if it was a canvas background, which we know this one is not right now, but if we were to add a canvas background, I've merged using desktop, we can choose scroll with page or we can choose fixed. Another way that photos can be used is through galleries. Your template may include galleries already. If not, it's really easy to add one. What you can do is click down here in the middle. You'll see these additional elements, and then you'll select gallery. It's going to bring up this little box, and you will size it to whatever size you want your gallery to be, whether it is like photo sized or it's full width. It's totally up to you. I am going to layer this one down a little bit so that it's underneath here. One more. There we go. Okay, so it's the same size about roughly as our photo before. And to add images to this, I click on the gallery. You'll see now I have gallery options. I go to gallery images and then I click manage images, and it will bring up the media library where my images are. So I can just choose ones that I want to add by clicking the little check and then clicking on the arrow to pop them over. So I really like all of these. Looking good. Now I can choose to delete photos out of here, whatever I want to do. I also can reorder them. So I want this one to be first, then I'll hit save, and now you can see that my gallery image loads in that embed box that was striped. So if we go down to gallery settings, this is where I can adjust how this gallery transitions. So I want it to fade, and then I want it to auto advance, and I can choose the time, how long it takes. It can slide in. You have lots of different options here for your gallery. You also can choose different types of gallery. So this is just a simple gallery, but it can be tiled or where it displays multiple images like this, and you can play around with the settings, how many columns you want to add, the spacing if you want a border or not. Or you can have a sliding gallery, and this is where you can see it a little bit better here. This is where you have the images kind of side by side like this, and then you can choose how they auto advance. If you want them to loop, you can have the little dots to display how many are in the gallery. So there's lots of different options to play around with in terms of the type of gallery, and your template may include different types for you to swap out and adjust however you see fit. Something else important to note about photos is that you can adjust the way a photo is cropped without actually adjusting the box. So for example, you can see we have this kind of like square with our image, and say that we wanted this to be a little more close up. What we can do is go to size, scale, and then we can adjust how this image looks inside the bounding box without actually changing the size of the image. So this becomes really important, especially if you have photos of people. You don't want maybe their hair to be cut off or something, you know, to be framed awkwardly. So this is a good way to help that without actually changing the size of the box. So you have scale. Stretch I don't really recommend because you can see that it distorts the image, but in some cases it may be helpful. Contain, this is going to display the full image no matter the size of the box. And then fill is also what is pretty common, where you can adjust the positioning without actually adjusting the scale. Another type of media is icons and elements. This template has icons that are custom, so when I click on these, this icon is not found in this list. If I go up to icon settings, you can see that this is a custom SVG file, but you can still change the color and size it just like any other icon. Another example of this is up here at the top. This squiggle is also a SVG icon. If you click on how to create custom icons here, Showit will give you a help doc that you can read through about creating your own, but we've included some in this template for you, and your template may have different ones. In order to add just a standard icon from Showit, maybe like a star or a menu icon, you'll go down here and click on icon. Same thing right above gallery is icon. And then you can choose a different color, and then if you go down here to icon chooser, you can choose anything from stars, hearts, little contact forms. There's a lot of different icons here. If you want additional icons without making them yourself, a site that I really like to use is called Remix Icon. I'll show you what that looks like here. Go to Remix Icon, you can see it's just Remix Icon. These are completely free to use, and you just copy the SVG code. So for example, if we want, I like this little heart, then you'll click Copy SVG, and it'll be copied to your clipboard. You'll go back to your site, and then click on your icon, click Custom Icon, and then you can just paste in that SVG code, and you'll get the custom icon, and you can change the color, styling, size, just like normal. Down at the bottom of the page, there's another way that media is pulled into your site. Inside your footer, you have these different images as placeholders, and this is just showing you what it would look like when your Instagram is connected. In order to connect your Instagram, you'll go down to right here, same where we got the icon in the gallery, and you'll click on Social Grid. It's going to give you another box that looks just like the gallery, and you'll just size it to fit the width here. And then you'll go to Size and Position and make sure that this is checked if you want it to span the entire width. If you don't care about expanding the entire width when the page is resized, you can uncheck it. And then it works just like a gallery. You go to Social Grid Settings, you'll click Choose an Account, and then your images will be displayed. It probably won't display in the back end. You'll have to either preview it or publish the site for Instagram to be connected. But you'll choose an Instagram account here, select these options if you want it to show carousels or photos only or videos, and then same thing with the gallery. You can adjust the image gap, how many rows you want, and then you'll want to make sure that you also style it on mobile so that it fits properly. You can play around with this to make sure it's working for you and the content that you want to display, or you absolutely can just leave it static. So you can just swap these photos out with maybe your favorite posts from Instagram, or you can just choose ones that kind of fit your brand aesthetic if you don't want it connected to your live Instagram feed. If you do connect your social grid, so clicking back on social grid and just adjusting it back, if you do connect your live Instagram, you want to make sure you also set fallback images. And what that is for some reason, if it can't connect to Instagram or those photos aren't loading, it shows what images it's going to display instead. And then you'll go to Manage Images. You will click on the ones from your media library that you want to add. So for example, let's add these here. I love this, like such like bright, fun orange colors. Hit save, and so now it's going to display these photos for us if for some reason it loses connection with Instagram.